I agree with you. I think that the Conwell Egan Eagles are going to come in. They're going to move that ball relatively quickly, and they're going to try to do their best to keep Chestnut Hill on the tip of their toes. They're just about ready, it looks like, to get underway with our national anthem and our prayer. So we'll send it down there. We'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to John Cornisco Court for this evening's PIAA Interact matchup between the Springside Chestnut Hill Blue Devils and your Conwell Egan Catherine Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats and caps for the invocation, followed by the national anthem. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, I entrust my child's journey into your hands. Shape his heart to seek you first in every step they take, every goal they chase, and in every dream they pursue. May they always know that their worth is found not in the scoreboard, but in being your beloved child. Thank you for leading us as we travel this path together. Amen. St. Francis of Assisi, pray for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. We ask that you remain standing, and veterans and active service personnel, we ask that you please salute the colors as we play our national anthem.
Luke, so you did talk earlier about these key players, and I think that's something that's going to have to be done today. Is Cole Zalewski is really going to have to step up, and I think Cole Zalewski at this point is really going to have to kind of step up and keep moving in order to make an impact right now. Zalewski out last year really impacted this team, so I think that he's going to be that key player tonight. And we talked to Coach Tate before the game, and he said that this is the best practice that they are going to get for a PCL game. So I think that that's something that we're going to have to look at tonight, watch how they play, and see what they do. I think this is going to be an idea of what we can expect to see from them this season.
Yeah, like you said, Zalewski out last year. Very aggressive and very tall and big scorer who can get to the rim off the screens and can also pull out the mid-range crafty shot and even bang down some threes. I agree that he is going to be the key player today's game. Also with Justin Bob improving his scoring on a tremendous level since last year. He used to be known as a floater guy in the middle, but now he can make shots from everywhere on the court. And I think those are going to be the two key players of this game, and especially Matthew Tollish and Irby to get the ball to them throughout the whole game.
Right, and one player that Conwell Egan is missing on the bench today is Miles Moore. Miles Moore starting many of those games last year. He's not out there as of right now. Moore struggling later in the season to hit those threes, but overall he was able to be a key impact for that team.
Yeah, I think he is out there on the court right now, Miles Moore, but he is out there, right? Yeah, Miles Moore is starting. Yeah, Miles Moore starting for the Eagles. Very strong mid-range scorer and very crafty scorer. 8-minute periods here in varsity high school basketball. as we will get the tip-off underway in a couple moments.
And I promise you guys will see less and less of me over the course of the year. Right now, it's kind of a weird situation with our Christmas concert going on, so not many broadcasters will give the main job to Luke, and I'll kind of fill in here and there.
Starting to tip off is Moore. Winning the tip-off is the Devils. Coming on the left wing. Back to the top of the key for number 15 for the Devils. We'll get the roster here for just a moment. 15 on the right wing, guarded by Tollerson Irby. Top of the key, number 2 over the left wing, number 1. Number 1 drives, kick, number 0, and foul. Shooting foul here. Dominic Dorsey, shooting foul as number 0 goes to the line for 2.
And Conwell, you get really hurt on those fouls last season. That was something that we saw that really took them out of the game. So if they want to stay in this one, they have to keep the fouls to a minimum and hopefully get that ball on the basket and be able to score.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in this, like I said, in this day and age of basketball, it's so aggressive. Everyone on the court can do everything. It's about size and speed is going to be the key factor for every game in high school basketball this winter. Misses a second free throw is Greenleaf. Stu Greenleaf. Take up Tollerson Irby over to Moore, top of the key. Right wing, over in the corner is Zalewski. Zalewski, top of the key, Moore. Zalewski on the right wing. Over to Moore at the top of the key. Moore trying to find Jasir Ross in the middle. Off on the Blue Devils, Jasir Ross inbounding it for the Eagles. Back to Miles Moore in the middle for the bucket. Miles Moore to kick it off for the game. Assisted by Jasir Ross. Number 1 of the Blue Devils. Over to number 10. Stolen. Miles Moore down the wet lane. Dunks it. Miles Moore with a fast break dunk to kick off the Eagles 4-0. Taking up, of course, Owen Kelly, star player for the Springside. Chestnut Hill. In the high post, it's number 0, Greenleaf. Wing shot by Kelly is air ball short. Miles Moore taking up on a flash break after the defensive rebound. In the corners, Dorsey. Bang! To start off 7-0 run for the Eagles, and it's a timeout by the Blue Devils. Eagles up 7-0 after a clutch shot to start off the game by Dominic Dorsey in the corner.
And you're right.
Starting off hot is the Eagles. Dr. Connard, how do you think they can keep this momentum coming out of this timeout and know that they are still the leading team in this game?
You give your ball to the big players like you've been doing. Miles Moore, the initial information that we got wasn't going to play tonight, but he's out there right now. So being back to his old stuff is really shows you getting 2 baskets early, giving that one off to the near side, and then able to get another basket there. If you're Conwell Egan, you continue to pull up this pressure. By putting up the pressure, you're going to be able to gain that momentum and really push along throughout this game.
Yeah, exactly. Miles Moore showing the hustle, showing that even though coming into this game questionable, he still can dominate out there on the floor. Taking it up is Julian, number 1. Over number 2, AJ Trinito. In the high post, number 10. Owen Kelly, right wing. Kelly kicks it to... Oh, shot. Rebound. Matthew Tollerson Irby. Coming to the court, Jasir Ross. Jasir Ross stops. Down low, Dominic Dorsey for the bucket. Backdoor cut there for Dorsey. Assist to Ross. Down in the post. Owen Kelly. Full swap here, coming on the sideline. Chapel Hill. Chestnut Hill. My apologies. Has the at top of the key. Over to Kelly on the right wing. Kelly drives baseline. Stops. Kick in the corner. Up top to Greenleaf. Over to Kelly. Kelly drives over top on the right wing. And looks like number 1 Dorsey, second foul of the game, and the team's second foul of the game. David Luby is our star announcer down there, giving the greatest commentary in the PCL for our Egan Eagles basketball team.
And if Conwell Egan continues with these fouls, these early fouls could become an issue later. It has not hurt them too much at the beginning of the game, but it was later that these fouls really killed this team, and that's where they lost a lot of these close games last season.
Right wing, shot, missed, rebound Zalewski. Zalewski in the fast break. Slows down and gives the ball to Moore. Moore taking it up, driving to the lane on 4 people, and it is a jump ball with Miles Moore, number 3, and Joe Flack of Springside, Chestnut Hill. Corner Zalewski. Zalewski fakes the shot, drives over top to Tyler Irby. Tyler Irby kicks it back out to Miles Moore. Fake shot, kicks it in the wing to Velez. Velez, shot. Bang! Jared Velez on the left wing. 3 for a 12-0 run with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this first period. Taking the court's Flack. Joe Flack passes it to Ajuan. Ajuan over to number 4. Sorry, I'm just learning the names here. Trying to catch up with the roster. Number 12, ISO. Number 4 on the right wing. Number 4 drives. Hop step. Jump. Off the backboard miss. Coming down the course, Irby. Has more in the corner. Zalewski, left wing. Short. Rebound Flack. Behind the back for Joe Flack. Corner. Number 4. Roscoe. Roscoe top of the key, Flack. Flack hop step. Corner shot. Blocked by Zalewski. And that is Blue Devils ball. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go. 12-0.
And Zalewski's defense is on par here, right? He's doing really well defending. However, a couple of his shots just coming up short right now. He's looking like he's rushing them a little bit. If he just takes that extra second or two to gather that ball and then fire it in, he'd be a little bit closer than what he has been right now.
I totally agree with that, Doc. Inbounding is Howard. Howard inbounding it to Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly stolen by Irby, but cannot pick it up. And that is a travel on number 15, Kelly, to give it to the Conwell Egan Eagles. Inbounding it is Jasir Ross to Tyler Irby, who will slow it down here after all the fast-paced gameplay. Screen by Moore. Irby driving to the lane. Kick to the top of the key, Moore. Driving. Hop step. And that is a foul on number 12, Howard. Passes it. Inboundings. Irby over to Jasir Ross. Right wing, top of the key, Zalewski. Taking their time here as the Eagles with a comfortable 12-0 lead in the first period. Irby into the post for Miles Moore. High post, Miles Moore passes out to Tyler Irby. Tyler Irby to Moore, top of the key. Moore passes to Zalewski. Zalewski coming around top of the key. Irby on the wing, moving around the perimeter here for the Eagles, not getting any opportunities. Moore doesn't get Velez in the corner. Irby at the top. Moore left wing, driving baseline. Looks for the reverse, cannot get it. Jasir Ross driving. Kick out to Zalewski. Top of the key. Far. Rebound number 4, Roscoe. Taking up is Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly, top of the key. Over to number 12, Howard. Howard, right wing. Back top of the key to Kelly. Number 10, Orman. Top of the key, Kelly. Kelly, isoing on Tyler Irby. Stolen by Miles Moore. Miles Moore, fast break. Jams it home. Aggressive slam dunk by Miles Moore on the fast break to give the Eagles an aggressive 14-0 lead with 2 minutes, 14 seconds to go in this first period. Howard driving. Far. Rebound number 4. And he puts it back. Adrian Roscoe with the first bucket for the Blue Devils.
Conwell Egan up right now, 14-2, and Luke, we look at this right now, and Coach Tate telling us that this was as close as we were going to get to a PCL game right now. What do you think?
I think if they play like this, they're going all the way to the Palestra. If this is like a PCL game, this Egan team is coming out aggressive. Miles Moore, and everyone out there is looking like the star player. We have 5 breakout players, first time ever in basketball history for the Eagles. I mean, just absolute class out there. Has the ball, Zerby in the backcourt, taking it up. Minute 50 left to go. Eagles lead by 12. Irby waving off to Sear Ross. Irby out to Zalewski. Ball tipped, but they keep possession. Miles Moore looking for the drive. Just Sear Ross from the wing shot is far off, and that is called Blue Devils ball. A throw up, but called Blue Devils ball. Taking up the court is number 1, Julian. Over to Ormond. Corner has it, number 1. Kicks it to Howard on the wing. Howard on the wing, driving, guarded by Jasir Ross. Takes it to the lane. Missed the layup. Fast break to Jasir Ross. All 5 of them down there. Miles Moore in the corner. Miles Moore trying to make a move. Cannot get it. Jared Velez on the wing. Kicks over to Tolson Irby. Tolson Irby top of the key. Waving out Miles Moore. Irby wants him for himself. Irby gives it to Miles Moore. 2-man game going on here. Irby, left wing. Just a little too far. Rebound by Ormond. Ormond taking up the left wing. Guarded by Zalewski. In the corner. Number 12. Just left. Rebound by Miles Moore. Kicks it out to Tolson Irby. 35 seconds left to go in this first period. Taking it up is Irby. Taking his good old time. And it is stolen by Ormond. Spins is Irby. Irby driving, attack, trips. And they're going to call a travel call on Matthew Tolson Irby. Subs here for the Chapel Hill Blue Devils, Chestnut Hill. Number A, AJ Trinito subbing in. Coming off the court is Joe Flack, number 3. Pass it to Sanchez, number 1, taking it up. Senior for the Blue Devils. Number 2 kicks it. Number 10 in the high post. Number 1, corner. In the post, stolen by Irby. Over to Moore. And they're going to call a traveling violation on Miles Moore.
And you look at this first quarter right now, and something that is very clear is that they are used to now Coach Tate's coaching scheme. I think that was a big adjustment for this team this year. They had to figure out a brand new coach, and how were they going to respond to it? It started out slow. They got it together towards the end of the year, but they're coming out strong here right now with that coaching scheme.
Like you said, bank shot 3-pointer made by number 2 as a buzzer beater. Good shot there by AJ Trinito. And yeah, like you said, Doc, they were learning a new coaching scheme. Coach Tate came in, and you would go to every game, and he would look furious there on the sideline. And that's normal when you have a new team coming in. You see it in all levels of sports, high school, even middle school. You see it. New coaches, hard to adapt. But now they're fit into a scheme. And when you have such talented players fit into a good scheme like Coach Tate gives, it's very hard to stop.
And I think by having that first year under your belt now, you allow yourself to really identify who your key players are going to be. Who are these players that are going to lead this team? Who are these players that are going to make an impact out there in the court? I mean, you look at it right now. You look at Zalewski, who made a great impact on defense. Miles Moore hitting the basket, something that he did very well last season, and even Jared Velez out there making his name known right now. So it's not going to be this one-sided team where this one player is really going to be standing out. It is clear early on right now that Conwell Egan's going to have a few key players for them throughout this season.
Yeah, and like you said, it's also Coach Tate adapting to his players. He comes in having a plan, knowing I got these players, I can do this. And then sometimes when you have a new team like that, you can sometimes have roadblocks in their talent, limit their talent, trying to run your scheme. But I think he realized that these boys are talented. They can make tough shots. They don't need to be open to make the shots. And he realized that if I go out there and run more of a loose scheme, let the boys run the ISO ball, they can get a lot of points racked up. Taking up the court's number 1 to start out the second quarter for the Chestnut Hill Blue Devils. Kicking out the wing, number 2, number 8 in the low post. The number 15, Owen Kelly, top of the key. Over to number 1, Julian. Julian driving. Pump fake. Floater. Good. Cut the lead to 7. Julian Sanders is the player. Irby, and that is a foul on number 1. Julian Sanders.
And what was a 14-2 game has now turned into a 7-point game. And what we see right now is Conwell Egan leaving a little bit more space defensive-wise, allowing Chestnut Hill to move that ball a little bit more easily, allowing them to get low into that slot area, which is allowing Chestnut Hill to really pressure that net as Egan continues to back off.
Yeah, like you see, they were leaving a little more space on defense as Chestnut Hill steals the ball there, saves it going out of bounds. Coming in, number 10. And 1. But like you said, they're leaving it more open on the defensive side for the Eagles. And as we have Justin Bob checking in here, but you can see Coach Tate is composed. He knows his boys can play the best defense and play his scheme. I think it's just all part of his game plan to try and keep these boys in momentum and keep them working. If you exhaust your players early, it's going to be really hard for them to work in the clutch time. If you let them know, hey, we got a lead, we can go to work on offense, and we can pay attention to our scheme on defense, we can stay in this game and win it.
And if you're Coach Tate, what is your goal for these seniors this year in regards to their role? What are you really looking for them as they continue throughout the year?
Like you said, high school ball, the kids are looking for offers. But Coach Tate, he's an experienced coach as a shot goes down there for Jasir Ross in the corner. But Coach Tate, he knows that these boys are good. He knows that they're going to get offers no matter what. And he knows that even though a player might score 30 points, he doesn't want them to score 30 points and lose. He knows that they're going to get more looks and say, hey, this Conwell Egan team, they're going out here. They're 700 or whatever in the record, and they're playing good. They got good players. We're going to look at them. And that is definitely the scheme and the way the Egan is going to have these players like be prospected and recruited. As a rebound there by Tosh Irby and a jump ball. But yeah, experienced coach like Coach Tate, he knows what he's doing, and he's going to do the best for these boys to win games and to get them looks for their future.
I totally agree with you, and I think it's important right now to note that we are going to have all of our graphics back up. The wind is really affecting the internet in the school today, so I think running a little bit slow inside the gym. We dealt with a brief power outage a little bit earlier, pop back on. So as the weather gets a little bit better into the new year, we'll make sure that we have all those graphics back up for you, and hopefully maybe get our camera back in our normal spot, although we had a few compliments about the new angle up top here, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I feel like I like the new angle too. You'd see kind of like we are. We'd see the top. You'd see everyone moving around, and like you said, power outage. But my radio broadcast hockey skills, I'll keep you up to date with the time and score probably every second. So just see a raw spin move coming down the alley, kicks it to Velez at the top left wing. Velez, foul on number 1, Sanders. Second personal foul of the game. Coming into the game is Dominic Dorsey for Jared Velez.
And we talked about Conwell Egan not really having that tight defense right now. It's been the flip side for Chestnut Hill. They figured out what Conwell Egan was doing that first quarter. They figured out how to tighten it up, and we see Miles Moore has touched the ball very little this quarter, and that is definitely Chestnut Hill's game plan going into the rest of this game.
Yeah, like you said, they're really tightening up on the Eagles, and they're really, as Dominic Dorsey with a fake, kicking out to Jasir Ross over to Miles Moore. Miles Moore driving, crossing, guard by Owen Kelly, over to Dominic Dorsey, over to Irby in the left wing. Back up to Miles Moore, top of the key. Driving to his right side, looking for the mid-range shot, but doesn't get it. Over to Justin Bob in the corner. On the block, and he does not get the shot. Number 2, left wing. Over to number 12. Number 10, Alex Orland. Number 12, top of the key over number 15, Owen Kelly. Number 2 for Chestnut Hill, looking for an option. Back over to number 12, Howard. Over to Owen Kelly on the left wing. Guard by Moore. Driving baseline, Euro step. And almost an N1. The personal foul on Dominic Dorsey. And Owen Kelly with a line for 2. Sorry if I'm butchering some of these names. I'm just getting used to the roster for the first period. I'll be all polished up for the second period. on the names for Springside, Chestnut Hill Blue Devils. As Owen Kelly misses the first. 4 minutes, 58 seconds left as Jared Velez replaces Dominic Dorsey. 17-9, 4 minutes, 58 seconds left to go in this first period. Second free throw is up. It's good.
I think this quarter right now is really exposing a weakness in adapting. I don't think that Conwell Egan's doing a great job adapting here. I think that they're continuing to try to do that same thing and not being able to recognize that it's not working. So that's definitely something that we're going to have to look as the season goes on. You're now only up by 7 when you had that 14-point lead.
Yeah, of course, with a very aggressive layup for Irby. Great bucket. But yeah, like you said, Egan learning that adapting, and then when you have that, like you said, Egan was letting up on defense. Coach Tate, he was doing that on purpose to let it up to see what can these Blue Devils do? What can this varsity Blue Devils do? So lighten it up when you have that lead. You can let them get back in it and see what are their strengths and what do they look for when the lane and the arc is open. Do they shoot it or do they drive? As Irby, free throw, good, and one. 20-10 Eagles. Zalewski, guarding Kelly. Kelly finds number 4, corner shot. Howard misses. Rebound, Tolleson Irby. Tolleson Irby on the fast break. Over to Jasir Ross. Jasir Ross cutting through. Tolleson Irby drives. Euro step. And he misses the free throw. No foul call. Owen Kelly coming down the court. Passing to number 3. Howard, mid-range jumper. Bang. Good shot by Howard on the assist from Joe Flack. Irby, top of the key. Jasir Ross on the left wing, down to Zalewski. Velez in the corner. Velez shot. Bang! Jared Velez in the corner to give the Eagles an 11-point lead in the second period. 3 minutes, 46 seconds to go.
And you see his face light up out there on the court as he's really happy with his performance right now.
Yeah, I think he's happy out there. I think he's, just trying to get his teammates involved, trying to move the ball around and, do his best to win. As Jasir Ross almost gets the rebound. Number 4, Roscoe. Number 12, Howard, top of the key. Over to Roscoe. Over quarter, number 3, Flack. Flack, top of the key to Howard. Back to number 10, Owen Orland. Orland mid-range shot, no good. Orman, sorry. Coming down to Kozalewski. Kozalewski. Bumping defenders. Over to Tolleson Irby, top of the key. Calling for Zalewski, top of the key. Up to Justin Bob. Justin Bob loses the ball. And stolen by Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly coming down. Euro step on Irby. Back to Ormond. Ormond layup good. And timeout call by Coach Tate. Yeah, like you said there, I feel like Egan is getting a little lackadaisical on offense. They come out with the lead, they're like, all right, yeah, we got it. But when you have a situation like that, Justin Bob, one of your bigs, I feel like you got to keep rotating around to the top of the key and get it to one of your supreme ball handlers on the squad. So you don't have a situation like that happen.
I agree. A lot of sloppy play going on out there right now. If you're Conwell Egan, and one of the things that they're doing is the sloppy play results to a turnover that's resulting to points. So if you're Conwell Egan, you need to hold the ball right now, right? You have 14 points out there for Chestnut Hill, and I will say that probably 10 out of those 14 have come from sloppy plays on the side of Conwell Egan. Conwell Egan controls, limits the amount of sloppy play out there on the court. It's probably right now only a 23-7 game. So you're looking at it right now at 23-14. Conwell Egan really needs to tighten things up, and you kind of wonder what that message is from Coach Tate going into that timeout.
Yeah, very needed timeout here for the Eagles. Coach Tate getting the boys straightened up. Like you said, I think they need to get the ball to the supreme ball handlers, and they need to drive and kick. They are very aggressive, and they are very good on the finishing skills. They see they get the drive and kick game going because they can make aggressive layups with how quick this Conwell Egan team and how strong they play. Irby has it on the right wing, kicked over to Ross in the corner. Top of the keys, Irby. Irby driving. Layup. Good. Just like I said, they got to drive that lane. They got to get that lane open, run the ISO ball, and get those aggressive layups to keep this lead just out of reach for the Blue Devils. In the middle's Howard. Howard in the high post. Kicks it out. Driving. Corner kick. Pump fake. Mid-range shot. No good. Irby has the ball. Settling. Over to Zalewski. Zalewski taking it up. Zalewski taking up the court. Wraps around Ross. Ross, high left wing. Irby, top of the key. Calling Miles out is Irby. Irby over to Jasir Ross. Jasir Ross, top of the key. Over to Miles Moore. Miles Moore, driving baseline. Kick, Velez. Velez, kick, Zalewski, corner. Just far.
And you look at Zalewski, Luke. I mean, you're far better at knowledge of basketball than I am, which is one of the reasons why you're doing play-by-play and I'm not. He's just slightly off with every single one of his shots. Is there, like, by looking at him, is there a reason why? Is the form off? What do you think? Why is Zalewski so close but not banking them home?
I mean, sometimes you just have nights that just aren't falling for you. Just like I think the stat game is messed up in basketball. Let's take Cooper Flag, for example. Came out, started the game in the NBA, had 4 points, 4 points, 4 points, and now he dropped 40 in the league. Sometimes it's just not falling, and that's when you have to really change your game plan to get more aggressive and just get to the rack and get your teammates involved instead of shooting the shot. And that's what is going to be the big plan for the Eagles here is decisions. And once you get further in the game, it's all about decisions. Taking up slack for the Blue Devils. Over to Trinito. Trinito finds Sanders. Sanders on the left wing, guarded by Jasir Ross. Driving over the top. Kicks it back out. Trinito over to number 10. Bang. Alex Orman with the left wing 3-point shot. Full timeout by Springside Chestnut Hill. And yeah, just another momentum stopper timeout. You just got to get your boys going. Hey, we're still in this. You got to let them know, like, you can hang with this team. You can hang with this Eagles team. But also, this is a very important timeout for the Eagles, letting them know, yo, we got to apply the pressure. We got to take better opportunity shots. Coach Tate's probably saying, I know you guys can make them shots, but we don't need to. We're better. We can get more open opportunities than this. How do you think this timeout affects the momentum going into the half?
I mean, if you're Conwell Egan, you're looking to try to spark something. You're only up by 8 now. I mean, it's not this big gap that you saw early in the game. And I think the goal there is either to try to get something going on their side or try to slow down Chestnut Hill at this point. But, I mean, if you're Chestnut Hill, they haven't really altered much from the beginning. So I think right now what you need to do is you need to come up with that clear, concise plan, that clear, concise thing moving forward if you're the Eagles. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to run away with the game again and ultimately win by the end of the night.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, for the Eagles, they got to drive and lay up. Once they drive and lay up, maybe we'll have Chestnut Hill switch into a 2-3 zone, and then they can work on the drive and kick game. And that will be the most important idea for the Eagles, to try and get them out of this man so they can really utilize their corner shooters. Miles Moore, pull up mid-range, no good. Miles Moore, great post scorer. 57 seconds left. Eagles up 25-17. Back over, tries to find Ormond. And it's out of bounds. Conwell Egan, Eagles ball. Checking into the game is Owen Kelly, replacing for Joe Flack. Inbounding is Ross. Over to Irby. Irby taking his good old time here, trying to get an opportunity. Velez in the corner. Moore, top of the key. Moore driving down the quarter, back to Velez. Back to Jasir Ross. Zalewski on the wing. And that is a elbow. Toss and Irby. Little push off on the screen there. And that happens in basketball. Here you go. Taking up the court is Sanders, guarded by Jasir Ross. Back to Orman, back to Sanders. Orman, top of the key. Orman driving. Wrapping around here is Orman. Orman to Kelly in the corner. Kelly, corner shot. Just short. Good contest by Zalewski. Irby taking up the court. Irby taking his good old time trying to get the last shot here. 10 seconds left in the quarter. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shot by Moore. No good. Floater short.
All right, Luke. So we'll have Colin and Junior's going to break it down at halftime for us in a second. But the only question I think I have for you right now is that you have your taste of hockey, you have your taste of basketball. How do you like now both sides of it, and which one do you think you're a little bit more comfortable with?
I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with basketball. I just know the schemes out there. It's like hockey. I'm not new to the sport. I'm not watching the sport. When I watch basketball, I can see it and just say it. I know what they're doing. I know what they're trying to do, and I can know what's going on in both coaches' minds.
All right, I agree. And when I first started calling basketball, it was very clear that I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't. Sat there, basketball for dummies. So it's definitely better to call a game that you're more familiar with. We'll take a quick break here in your Eagle Eye Network, and when we come back, it'll be Jude and Colin that will break down the first half for you.
Welcome back to your Eagle Eye Network. I'm Colin Hay,
And I'm Jude Holmes.
and this is your halftime report. So, Jude, Egan started off the half with a strong lead, with a 14-2 lead at the end of the first quarter. What do you think this will mean for Egan as the game goes on?
I feel like we started off really strong, like super strong. The score was 9-0. That ended up being 14-2. I feel like we just have to keep our cool. We got a little dirty and a little like scrappy at the end of this
Yeah.
second quarter, and that's mainly the reason why we gave up 15 points here and only scored uh, 11.
Yeah, I agree. So, at the start of the second quarter, Chestnut Hill pushed back and started gaining some points. What do you think Egan needs to do to maintain their lead?
Like I said, they just have to I feel like lock in more. Like they're getting scrappy. I feel like they're caring more about like their minds and like letting the other team get under their skin, more about like hurting the players and actually playing basketball and playing for the badge.
Yeah. Who do you think the MVP is of this game so far?
I mean, I feel like everybody's playing really well, but I feel like in my eyes, I see a really good playmaker, Matthew Tollerson Irby. I feel like he's moving the ball around a lot. He's just helping all around the court. He's just doing really well right now.
Yeah. What do you think the energy is going on in the Egan locker room right here? Like, what do
I
you think
feel
they're
like
talking about?
I feel like they're getting yelled at a little bit. I mean, you could see when you're watching the game that the coach is yelling at the players because they're not doing the right things, not running the right plays, not making the right passes. Also, I feel like he's yelling at them to lock in on defense because not very good on that part in the second half or second quarter, sorry. And yeah, just stop fouling.
Yeah. Okay, that was your halftime report. I'll see you in the third quarter.
We are coming back here live on the Eagle Eye Network. Minute left to go in halftime. Eagles are up by 7. We were talking at the half, and we were saying that shot selection is a big part of the game. It's a big part in this game, especially. How do you know when to take a shot or not take a shot? I think, me personally, that you just get it moving until you get an open shot. If not, get it to the best player to run the ISO ball and see if you get a driving kick or an aggressive layup. You agree?
I definitely agree with you. I think you've pretty much said it all. Don't have anything to add there.
38 seconds left here before we get it underway.
If you're a Conwell Egan, what kind of adjustments are you expecting to see here in the second half?
I feel like you're expecting the Blue Devils to be more aggressive. Actually, I think they're going to keep the pace the same. They said we've seen this Egan team loosen up on defense. The one improvement Egan needs to do is defense. The Blue Devils are like, it's not broke, don't fix it. We came back from a 14-0 run. So I think they're going to keep the same play, but I think that's where Egan's going to strike back, and Coach Tate's system is going to get them back in this game. So the Blue Devils have to try and fight for another possession again.
And I'll be interested to see how Egan does here, because this is where they kicked themselves out last season during the game.
Passes Ormond. Fouled by Zalewski. First and teams. Inbounding is Trinita. Back out to Gorman. In the post. Sanders. Layup, no good. Rebound to Sear Ross. Taking that court's Ross. Top of the key has it, Irby. Irby looking for opportunity over to Sear Ross. To Sear Ross back to Irby. Driving. Trying to go over the head, no good. Pump fake Zalewski. For Sear Ross. Has it in the top of the key again. Ross driving. Left side. Layup. Just short. Rebound Orman. Pass number 0. Trinito. Back to Orman. Layup. Offensive board. Looking for a corner kick. And that is a foul. Number 5. Calvin Irby. Trying to get the reach there, but just can't get the no foul call. Inbounding Trinito. Trinito over to Orman. Back to Trinito on the left wing. Top Sanders. Sanders top of the key over to Trinito. Trinito behind the back. Aggressive layup. Good. Good move there by Trinito on the left wing. And taking up the court to try and stop the Blue Devils' momentum is Irby. Toss on Irby over to Zalewski. Zalewski back to Ross. Over to Dorsey. Ross top of the key. Jumper. Just left. A little left and short there. Just here Ross guarding. Trinito, aggressive layup on the right side. 4-0 run here for the Blue Devils. And this Egan lead is dwindling all the way down to 4. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third.
And this aggressive run really is telling us that Chestnut Hill has figured out this Egan's offense, has also figured out this Egan's defense. And if Egan wants to get back into it, they have to change it now. You can't wait much longer into this third quarter, or you're going to take yourself out of this game.
What I just saw there, like I said, a drive and kick there from, I believe it was just Sear Ross over to Zalewski. Zalewski just misses it, right? Like I said, I think the drive and kick game is going to be so crucial. This Blue Devils team, they're getting aggressive. They're getting wild up. They're getting close. They're going to collapse. They're going to try and go for the block. They're going to try and go for the momentum shifter. So Egan needs to stay composed and spread everyone out on the perimeter so you get those catch and shoot opportunities. Opportunity still is Irby, collected by Kelly. Kelly over to Trinito. Trinito back out to Orman. Shot. Bang! To cut the lead to 1. Ormond with the 3 from the top of the key. And taking up to Irby. And his bench is wild up here for the Blue Devils as Velez comes to sub in. Zalewski has it to Sear Ross top of the key. Miles Moore to the high post. Miles Moore making move. Mid-range fade. Bang! Like I said, start of the game, those are those shot creation opportunities that Miles Moore has. Miles Moore has the great mid-range shot. He can produce from everywhere on the floor. You don't know if he's going to drive. You don't know if he's going to kick. You don't know if he's going to shoot. It's just like every player in this team. Everyone is very talented, and everyone can get a good shot off.
I agree with you there. And right now, we would like to congratulate our cheerleading team, who has their District 12 competitive spirit competition on Sunday the 21st at Temple University. So a big night for them. And if they are able to, it will be that night that they get a bid to states. That will be in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in January. So we wish our spirit team the best of luck in their competition on Sunday. And we hope to be hearing about them going off to states in January. And be sure to check out the Conwell Egan Eagle Eye Network as well. So after the break, there's going to be different shows coming out. A Monday preview, a Tuesday interview of the week, a Wednesday of the Faces with CEC, so a segment that we will bring back. And a Thursday, we are going to highlight what we are going to call Future Star Thursdays as we interview a JV player or a player that you don't hear a whole lot about that's making an impact out there in their respective sport.
Yeah, good luck to the girls cheer team, and also a good luck to the varsity girls and JV girls basketball teams this Saturday. I don't have the times on hand right, but good luck to them. Has is Sanders, the controversial travel call. In the corner is Ormond. Ormond transitioning to the wing. Has it Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly, just pass to Ormond. Pass to Trinito. Trinito to Sanders. Owen Kelly in the post. Owen Kelly drives, jumps, and gets the foul call by Irby. Irby just had to jump there, and a good foul draw by Owen Kelly. Let's go to the line for two.
So Jair Velez is trying here. He's trying to give that direction out there on the court, but right now the communication with the defense seems to be a little disorganized. And I think that's something that they need to pick up on. We see Springside, Chestnut, Hillside getting a little louder, maybe a little bit into these players' heads. But if you're Conwell Egan, you need to work on that communication skills a little bit. We see them getting angry with each other. We see them, kind of taking a step back. And right now they're only up by 2. So I think communication is going to be key as we get into this final half of this third quarter.
Exactly. If I was a basketball analysis or an analyst, all I would watch, I could only watch the third period and I would know. The third period makes or breaks squads. You see it in the big leagues. You see it in every level of basketball. It makes or breaks squads. Can you have the same momentum coming out the half? Can you keep the lead? It's all time to tell if you can do that as a squad. And if you can, you have a very good run for your division. Eagles ball off Ormond. Inbound Miles, top of the key. At the logo is Velez. Velez passes to Vasir Ross, back to Velez. Velez in the high post to Bob. Over to Miles Moore. Miles Moore driving, baseline. Almost gets the tough layup with an offensive rebound, and he puts it back. Miles Moore with the good offensive rebound as Sanders takes up the court. Eagles lead by 4, 29-25 with 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Ormond in the high post. Back over Trinito. Trinito, left wing. Finds Sanders, top of the key. Sanders. Trinito trying to drive, no good. Takes the baseline 4. Over to Ormond. Owen Kelly, number 15, top of the key, short shot. Rebound Moore. Velez taking up the floor. Velez. Moore, top of the key. Blue Devils playing it tight in the paint offense. Like I said, that drive and kick game, they're going to really try and collapse on the driver, and they could get the kick to the corner. Almost another opportunity for the driving kick there, but Justin Bob fouled as he will go to line for, never mind, it was on the floor. Vasir Ross. Howard checks in for Trinito. And 1 3-pointer for Dominic Dorsey in the left corner. Beautiful shot there as he can draw the foul on Ormond. And we have a 4-point play incoming for the Eagles. And makes it is Dorsey to make the game 33-25 Eagles with 3:28 to go. Taking the court is Kelly. Howard. Kelly top the key. Over to Howard on the left wing. Left wing Howard over to Kelly at the top. Has Trentrio in the corner. Trintillo wing. Shot bang. Trintillo on the assist from Carrasco. Take up Jasir Ross, guarded by Trintillo. Jasir Ross takes it. Velez, pump fake in the corner. Velez driving over top. Back out to Miles Moore, guarded by Howard. Miles Moore looking for the ISO ball. Miles Moore loses it as Otel gets the ball, but he steals it again. Possession maintained by Howard. In the corner, Trintillo. No good. Missed right. Rebound, Ormond. Ormond driving on Dorsey. Roscoe driving, and foul called on Jared Velez. Oh, traveling violation. Traveling violation on number 12, Howard.
I think that one could have really went either way there. Here, that foul right before the travel. So Conwell Egan really getting lucky there because I could have really put them within 3 at this point.
I agree there. Sometimes this luck is just on your eyes and on your hands. Here you go. Dominic Dorsey taking up the court over to the right wing. Dominic Dorsey driving over top, spins. Over to Velez in the corner, pump fake. Back to Dorsey, the top key. Dorsey trying to make a move. Spin move. Back over to Velez in the corner. Velez coming up to the right wing. Sorry. Calls for a Dorsey screen. Never mind. Dish it to Dorsey. Back over Zalewski, top the key. Back over Dorsey. Dorsey, mid-range pull-up. No good. As number 4 hurt currently.
And he went down there hard. It looked like he hit his head on his way down. And we see Miss Regina, the trainer, making her way slowly out onto the court there. So if you look at this right now and we kind of say, all right, what's going on? I think that this quarter is crucial for setting up that final stretch because if you go by what Coach Tate talked about is that this is as close as they're going to get to a PCL game. And right now it's close. It's 33-28. And what we're going to see Conwell Egan get involved in these PCL competitions is very close games. So I think that this is crucial because it really shows your team's ability. It shows what they are able to do. And it shows you what you need to work on before you have teams like Father Judge and Archbishop Carroll and Wood come in to play you.
Yeah, like you said, Coach Tate said PCL level talent, but that doesn't mean PCL level atmosphere. When there's a PCL game here at the Eagles Nest, all these seats are gonna be filled. There's not gonna be an open seat. So it's really, can they perform in the clutch time in front of a big crowd? As a pull-up jumper for Jasir Ross. Good mid-range from the line by Ross. As Sanders taking it up. Sanders, power dribble. Layup, no good. Offensive rebound. Guarded by Bob. And he tips it in. As Jared Velez takes his good old time up this court. Velez trying to drive. Bob at the top of the key. Over to Ross. Ross tipped by the Blue Devils. Moore subbing in for Bob. 1 minute and 3 seconds left. 35-30. Conwell and Eagles lead by 5.
Cole Zalewski was actually waving to come out there. He was actually looking for a sub, hoping that Moore was coming in for him, but Coach Tate told him to stay out there. So we'll keep a close eye on Zalewski out there right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it was an injury there or he was tired, but good call by Coach Tate. Got to keep him out there in that moment. You got to know, yo, I want you in the big moments. Kick to Zalewski. Zalewski. Hey.
And that's why you leave him out there.
That's why you need him out there. And you totally right. Sanders top of the key. Over to Ormond. Ormond deep 3 from the left wing. No good. Rebound Ross. Driving. Trinito. Bang. Trintillo. The layup. 24 seconds left here. Eagles lead by 5. 38-32. Playing backcourt defense is Trintillo. Velez. And he's pushed by Trintillo. 15 seconds left here in this third period in an aggressive and fast game. Allison Irby Checks in for Jared Velez. In the backcourt's Irby. Irby trying to find an opening in the defense. Screen by Moore. Driving to the lane. In the corner, Dorsey. No dip shot. No good. And Howard tries to take a shot. No good. End of the third. Eagles lead 38-32. And a very good matchup here, just like the JV game. What do you think they need to do and focus on going in? Keeping it simple, what do they need to focus on?
Well, I think that third quarter was really defined by Chestnut Hill's perseverance. So I think if you're Conwell Egan right now, the thing that you need to focus on is making those key adjustments. You go back to like 2 minutes ago when you were talking about that PCL atmosphere, right? You're going to have to make those adjustments when the crowd gets rough, when the game gets rough. And I think right now that's what you need to do. The crowd's not rough, but the game is. Chestnut Hill knows what they're doing. They know how to get in Egan's head a little bit. They know how to get that space in between. So if I'm Conwell Egan right now, I'm focusing on how to stop that perseverance by Chestnut Hill and really pushing them back down again to what we saw in that first half of the first quarter.
Totally agree. And if you're a basketball player, you know, if you're in Chestnut Hill's situation, you are not mad. You're obviously going to be mad. You're not going to be out there saying, oh, we're down 5. You're going to be pissed off, and you're going to want to get back into that game. And if Egan can hold them to that and keep them in that mode, then they're going to be able to pull away in this fourth quarter. They're going to be able to pull away if they keep in that mode. But the Blue Devils aren't coming out like that right now. They're coming out hot. They're saying, we're going to win this game.
I definitely agree. Right now they have nothing to lose, right? They're down anyway, so if they don't win, they don't win. It's best to come out aggressive as you possibly can and play your game. So this way you can stay on top of everything.
Eight-minute quarters here. Jasir Ross inbounds it to Irby. And a stoppage by the officials. Well, unsure on what the call is currently. And a stoppage here, but the Eagles are inbounding by Dorsey. In the backcourt is Irby. Tyler Irby. New face on the court, number 20. We'll get that name in a minute. Miles Moore driving on his right side and fouled.
And as this fourth quarter starts, my eyes right now on Zalewski, on Moore, and on and on Jared Velez. Excuse me. Those are the 3 players that I'm looking at in this fourth quarter. Those are the 3 players that really can be your standout star in any one of these games. They all have potential, every single player out there on the court, but they are the 3 that could be that clear communicator and the one that had the greatest impact late in games.
To the Egan Eagles. What?
Start over. You were muted.
Oh. Jasir Ross is a transfer for the Conwell Egan Eagles. Very quick guard, very talented, can create shots. He's kind of like a mini Miles Moore out there, but he has a good playmaking skill and he knows when to kick the rock. He has good decisions and good basketball IQ. Oh, pass to Orman, almost stolen by Miles Moore. Howard guarded by Ross. Howard, right wing, looking for Lyso, driving. Zalewski guarding. Ormond in the low right box for the layup. Jasir Ross taking it up the court, guarded by Howard. Looking for an opening and stolen by Howard. And it's going to be a jump ball. Howard is fired up. And possession goes to Blue Devils. 7 minutes and 4 seconds in this fourth period. 38-34. Eagles lead.
Dom Dorsey needs to find a little bit of space. He was doing great that first, second quarter, getting the ball, really becoming that impact for the team, but he hasn't really touched the ball much in the second half. He has to find the space because he's going to be a key factor for the success here.
Yeah, like you said, he needs to find his space, but sometimes it's not always about the ball handler, you know? you have a man out there where they know, yeah, this kid's going to make every shot if he's open. They just know he's there, and then he's in the corner, and he misses it. But like you said, they're going to know he's there, and they're going to stay on him. It's just going to create more room in the lane as Jasir Ross misses it short. But yeah, it's just going to create more room in the lane, and it's just going to, mix up the defense a little bit.
And right there, those are shots that you can't miss. Dorsey wasn't being pressured. You come back out, you see Jasir Ross out in the key area. He wasn't being pressured either. Your team's only up by 1. Those are shots that you have to make, and are mistakes that are going to come back to haunt you if this script flips.
Yeah, a little bit of heat check there for Jasir Ross as number 20 in the corner shoots it. Bang. Number 20, Ajwan. As Miles Moore, fast break. Take it up the court. 3v1. Dominic Dorsey, hop step. In the corner, Moore. In the corner, Zalewski. Driving baseline. Back out the wing to Moore. Moore, mid-range. No good. Mid-range from the corner, no good by Moore. As the Devils now lead 40-38. Stolen by Dorsey. Down the Miles Moore. Off the shoulder and good. Aggressive move by Moore there to get the open layup. Has it is Sanders taking up the floor for the Blue Devils. Tied 40-40. Ajwan over the key, over to Howard. Pull up mid-range. Sanders no good short. Rebound Irby. Irby down to Zalewski. Zalewski on the wing, driving. Good shot by Zalewski. Getting back on defense aggressively. And a good aggressive layup there by Zalewski. Howard, top the key, over to Sanders. Over to Flack in the corner. Flack finds Howard on the other wing. Howard up to Orman. Orman looking for the shot. Ajwan on the left wing. Ajwan drives. Orman almost stolen by Ross. Orman top the key, over to Howard. Back over to Orman. Howard on the right wing, shot. No good, far. As a rebound by Flack. And personal foul on Tollerson Irby. It's like an over the back foul. But personal foul as the Blue Devils will maintain possession. And Velez and Bob check in for Ross and Irby. Anything to say, Doc?
I just think as this clock continues to wind down, Conwell Egan really has to control the momentum of this game to prevent any more turning points, and they really need to focus their shift out of their offense as they've been struggling.
As a steal by Zalewski over to Dorsey. Dorsey loses the ball, and that is off on Julian Sanders of the Blue Devils. As Trentillo, checks in for Sanders. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left. The Eagles lead by 2, 42-40.
And if you go,
period.
And if you go back to what I said earlier in the first quarter, fouls hurt them. And again, we saw here they fouled them when they were up 9-0, and now it's a 2-point game. So one basket separates these two teams right now, and Conwell Egan's proven that those fouls early in the game come back to haunt them later, like last season.
I agree. As Miles Moore takes a bad shot selection there, put over to the heat check, misses it right and deep. As a travel call, looks like, on number 2, Trentillo. Don't know if that was a travel, but offensive foul.
Calling it an offensive foul out there, so that's why we'll get the turnover here.
Velez inbound into Dorsey. Tate wanting to get the boys to move out there. Bob, top of the key. Bob over to Velez. Velez on the left wing. Over to Bob, top of the key. Velez moving. Moore. Driving over top. Loses the ball. Looks for it. Pivots. Good layup by Moore. Way to collect to get the pivot foot and just go for the nice little floater off the glass. Over to Trentillo. Over to Owen Kelly in the corner. Misses it. Short. Bob gets the offensive rebound. Over to Moore as they take their time coming down the court. Moore coming down the left wing. Driving. Losing the rock. Layup. Good! Miles Moore with his second layup in a row. Coming down is Orman. Orman over to Howard. Howard driving. Driving good layup for Howard. Timeout Blue Devils as 3 minutes 11 seconds in the fourth period. Eagles lead 46-42. Only 2 fouls on the Blue Devils and 1 foul on the Eagles. Do you think we'll see any foul trouble or bonus opportunities in this fourth period? Or do you think they're going to keep it a low foul game as we go on?
My concern right now is that Conwell Egan takes themselves out of this. I think that they're feeling pressure right now, only up by 4, and what I think could happen is that Conwell Egan puts themselves in a spot where you see a lot of fouls. I think Chestnut Hills will try to be pretty much perfect going in unless they're down. Obviously, we know late in the game he's all make those fouls to get possession of that ball back. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little concerned right now. We haven't seen Conwell Egan, really play hard in that fourth quarter without fouling a lot of times, so we're hoping to see it different here.
I totally agree. I feel like it's a very low foul game because when both teams are aggressive, you can't really call. You just got to let the boys play out there in this close matchup. As Irby passes it to Sheer Ross. Sheer Ross over to Irby. Irby coming up with Dominic Dorsey. Blue Devils in a full court press. Dorsey playing 2-man pass game with Tosh and Irby. Tosh and Irby rotating top the key. Bob goes left corner. Drives, Irby, kick, Bob, shot. No good, short for the Conwell Egan Eagles and Justin Bob. Sanders coming down the court, aggressive. Losing the ball, and the call is foul on number 2, Jasir Ross.
Eagle Network will be live again on Tuesday, as they announce ice hockey. It'll be our last game until after the break. Luke will have the game along with Keen and Cullen, and Andrew Golder will make his broadcasting debut that night as well.
The hockey crew will be at it again on Monday, I believe, or Tuesday, December 22nd. We will kick it off, and you'd see us on the Eagle Eye Network. Tune in for that as I improve my hockey skills. Talish and Irby kicked over to Ross. Ross wrapping up. Irby cutting. Irby kick out to Zalewski. Right wing. Cole Zalewski. Clutch time shot. Cole Zalewski to give the Eagles a lead. And out of bounds, bad pass, Conwell Egan ball. 49-44. The Conwell Eagles lead by 5 with 1:54 seconds left to go in this fourth period.
As Zalewski is that Eagles name that's making an impact late here in this game, and that's exactly what you want if you're Conwell Egan. Zalewski on his game, making that impact is showing you what he's going to do throughout this season.
Irby has it at the logo, guarded by Sanders. Irby drives to his left, loses the ball. Ormond coming down, 2-on-1 fast break. Howard, layup, good.
And
About to lead the 3, 1:30 left in this game.
And there's another turnover that results in points, and that's how Chestnut Hill got a lot of these points later. So again, another turnover here in points that really is going to hurt them. And Conwell Egan did a great job by calling a timeout there.
Eagles lead 49-46 with 1:24 in the fourth period. Timeout by Coach Tate here as the Egan Eagles try and keep this 3-point lead for the win in this varsity Friday night matchup.
This time, I'd like to take the opportunity to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas, and we hope you enjoy that holiday season together. As we'll take a break here on the Eagle Eye Network. There'll be some non-league games thrown in throughout the winter that we won't have, but we hope that you will spend some time with your family and friends, just as we will over this next Christmas break. So, Merry Christmas from our broadcasting crew to our family to yours over this Christmas season.
Yeah, us here at Conwell wish you a Merry Christmas as Jasir Ross kicks it to Zalewski. Zalewski on the right wing, over to Dorsey. Dorsey on the left wing, Kicks up to Irby. Irby driving. Kick. Zalewski, right corner. Zalewski with another clutch shot, and he's on fire. He found his groove, and they bring it up by 6 with a minute left to go, and stolen by Irby. Irby stole the ball from Sanders as he kicks it to Dominic Dorsey. Dominic Dorsey and is out of bounds. 50 seconds left to go. And the subs. Howard subs in for Ajwan, number 20. Inbounding it is Ormond. Howard is at the top of the key. Might drop back to the backcourt, and he does. Howard taking up on Jasir Ross. Over to Ormond in the left wing. Ormond taking it top of the key. Back to the top of the key is Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly drives. Right side. Popped out. Back over to Ormond, top of the key. Behind the back. Good shot. Oh, almost calls bank as the ball is maintained by the Blue Devils. Eagles lead with 30 seconds left in the game. Lead by 6. Inbounding, it's Howard. Looking for the 5-second call. No call. Owen Kelly. Driving. Driving is Owen Kelly. Stolen by Irby. Irby has a jump ball. Knocking 5 seconds off the clock. And Conwell Egan has a ball. Looking to dribble this one out to get the lead. Like I said, this is where the no foul trouble comes in. They have no fouls, and they're not going to put them in the bonus, so it's going to be very hard for the Eagles to keep this lead. Not so very hard, but if they get in foul trouble, it won't be very good. Inbounding, it's Ross. Full court press for the Devils. Gets it to Dorsey. Dorsey gives it back to Ross as they foul Dorsey.
And what's that number that you have to get to in high school? That the number of fouls that's automatically shots. Right now we're at 3. What's that number in high school that to get to where they automatically get a free throw?
I believe the bonus limit is 4 fouls. So once the Devils get to 4 fouls, they can really attack the bad free throw shooters. Not so much bad, but a little bit worse free throw shooters on this Eagles team. But the Eagles are going to try and inbound to their best free throws, free throw guys they can get, so they can rack up this win and go home tonight with a win on their record for a non-league game. .22 seconds to go. As Howard will inbound it. Sorry, Eagles ball as Jasir. Never mind. Dorsey is going to inbound it for the Eagles. They're going to stack at the top of the key. Try and get Miles Moore or Jasir Ross, one of their quicker players, to break out to the right side. As Miles Moore goes down the court, Jasir Ross looking for Ross. Timeout by Dorsey. Good call on Dorsey by calling timeout. As they can't get anyone open. You see this. I've been watching a lot more of the NBA, and you see it's in these moments where they can get back in the lead. When they have those things, like if they get a stop, 5 seconds, then the ball is back in the Blue Devils' hands and they have the momentum. How does that affect the Eagles if they get a 5-second call and they cannot get the ball inbounded?
I mean, I guess it'll hurt you some, but I think, right now, if you just play your game, the little mistake and not let the little mistakes get to you, that you can come out of it, right? I think it's late enough into the game where there's little mistakes. Hopefully, shouldn't hurt you by the amount that we're up right now. So early on, I would say probably a lot, but right now, hopefully not too much, as we're just about ready to get started again here.
I agree. Hopefully, this strong Eagles defensive team can hold on to the lead, but you never know what can happen in basketball. Play till the last buzzer as Dominic Dorsey inbounds it. Trying to inbound it, gets it to Zalewski. Zalewski over to Dorsey. Dorsey almost fouled over to Irby. Irby over to Ross. Ross, and they fouled Jasir Ross. As they are now at the bonus limit, I believe. Not quite yet. I think the foul limit is 5. as Dorsey will inbound again. Back to Moore in the backcourt. Moore driving down the lane. Moore kicks it over to Dorsey as 7 seconds on the clock as they will dribble this one out. The Conwell Egan Eagles bring home a win against the Springside Chestnut Hill Blue Devils. Score 52-46. The Eagles win here on the Eagle Eye Network. And Dr. Conard, who do you think your key player of the game was for the Eagles? You had a lot of players out there, but who do you think ran that court out there today?
I don't know if I'll go with one. I think I would go with that core three that we were talking about that entire time. Zalewski, Velez, and Moore, each of them making their own impact in a different way. Zalewski really coming alive later in the game offensively, doing a great job defensively throughout, but his offensive game really came upon late. So I would really give it to those three. I don't necessarily think that I would pick one over the other here tonight.
Totally agree with you. Zalewski really turned up in the fourth quarter, as we will go to our post-game reports by Colin and Jude in just a moment.
Hello, my name is Jude Holmes, and I'm here with,
Colin Haney.
and we are here to do your post-game report. Well, that was an interesting game, Colin, but I have a few questions for you. How do you think the energy was in the second half?
At first, Chestnut Hill came out pushing. They scored a lot of points, and Egan really adjusted to that as that period went on. And they like at the start, they didn't score that much points, but when they saw Chestnut Hill scoring that much points, they really adjusted.
I agree. Once they saw Chestnut Hill getting close to once they saw it was getting close to the game, I feel like they really locked in. What was your opinion on the game as a whole?
It was really exciting, especially in the first half, where Egan was just scoring left and right. And in the second half, it was really close, so that was exciting and suspenseful too.
I agree. I thought overall both teams played really well. Egan played good the first quarter especially. Then they kind of slowed down, but then they brought it back in the fourth. Who do you or what do you think was the deciding factor in this game?
Definitely the fouls, because on both teams they were fouling so much, and it was like at towards the end of the fourth quarter, it was really close, and at a point Chestnut Hill was winning, and if Egan didn't get that much fouls, it wouldn't be that close.
I agree. I feel like on defense a lot we were leaving men open. I mean, as a whole, I think this is our fifth game together, with this group, with the starting lineup. So I feel like they still have a lot to work on, but I feel like a great start of the season right now. 4-1, that's a great record.
Okay, Jude, who's the best player tonight?
I'm gonna have to say number 2, Ross. I feel like he was a very, very, very good player tonight. He had most of our points. He was taking the ball down the court for most of the time. He's very quick. Has a good shot. Just overall, great player. Had a very good game today.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's our post game intermission, and this is Eagle Eye Network signing off.